Welcome back to the Labor Forum. You are tuned into a WRFG 89.3 FM in Atlanta. We thank all of you who are listening on the radio, on your computers, on your mobile devices, and particularly if you're watching us. Let me say hi.
Hey.
This is the Labor Forum. The fact that we have our own YouTube channel means that not only are we able to allow you to see how a radio program actually unrolls and the faces and the people that are on our program, but it also means that you can send that to other folks if you found something really interesting about what we talked about. So I want to welcome Dre Propst. He is here because he was one of the organizers who put together this exciting meeting. I understand it was standing room only at Big Bethel AME. Last Thursday, and the idea was to bring together all kinds of forces from the Black community to talk about the possibility, the decision to actually form a Black Lives Matter Atlanta chapter. So welcome to the Labor Forum, Dre.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and thank you, 89.3.
You're very welcome. This is what 89.3 lives for. Definitely here on the Labor Forum. All right, so I know that many of our listeners probably participated and certainly read about and watched on television and other forms of social media, not just what happened in Ferguson, not just what happened in Charleston, not New York City, Chicago, Minneapolis, Texas, California, we could go on, and here in Atlanta, when so many young people in particular, Black and brown youth in particular, have been killed by police, just really since, certainly since Michael Brown, and before that Trayvon Martin, and before that many others. But with the Michael Brown killing, I think what people saw was a level of resistance, a level of mass participation by the people of Ferguson and all the surrounding area that reverberated, just really caught people's attention. The fact that they stood up against an incredibly militarized police force. I think people were shocked when they saw in the streets of Ferguson tanks and the tear gas and the heavily armed police standing down up against, young folks, old grandmothers, children, and that night after night people kept coming back, and I think that really provided a incredible example. So I wanted you to talk. I don't know if you were involved in the very first demonstration that happened after Michael Brown at CNN.
Yes.
You were. Okay. So it's been a year plus. If you could talk a little bit about the impact of the Black Lives Matter movement on people here in Atlanta, the people who came to that meeting Thursday night.
Yes, we have everybody from the community, our Black LGBT community. We had our Muslim brothers, we had our tribal brothers, we had everybody. We welcome everybody into the Black Lives Matter Atlanta chapter. It was a sense of urgency that we had to bring this chapter to Atlanta. I've been working with different mothers and relatives, and they haven't received justice. They call me at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning just crying because they see our system, the justice system, is failing our people. And like Anthony Hill,
Yeah.
he's a veteran, went overseas and fought for us. And he come back home with an illness that he got from overseas. Then he went into his own community and had an episode. And next thing you know, he's armed and shot in front of his community.
Naked.
Naked. And it's like, nothing still have been done. The police is still on the force getting paid with our tax money. And I can move on and continue and talk about other black lives having received Jesse Kendrick Johnson in Valdosta, Georgia. Went to school. His mother like, where is my child? And next thing you know, they wouldn't even let her go see her child. And next thing they turn, the organs is missing. In 3 years, this family been fighting for justice. She wants to know what happened to her child at that school. And the system failing. 3 years? It only take a week to bring a family together and sit there and say, we're gonna find this person who did this to your child. Another, Kevin Davis called the police for help. You come into my house and I'm thinking you help him, then you kill me. And then he also had a disabled dog and you killed the disabled dog. And then the family couldn't go see Kevin Davis at the hospital. I could continue. Nicholas Thomas at work trying to make a decent living for his 2-year-old kid. They come and serving him at work for a probation warrant traffic ticket and up there at work. Then when his daughter get older, what happened to my father? Where's my father? No justice. And then it's like, Georgia, we have to do something about this. We have to unite together. And that's what Black Lives Matter in Atlanta wants to do. To go to our community and educate everyone that we got to stand together. We got to unite behind these families.
Thanks a lot. Could you, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about what did happen at the meeting? I know I saw some of the pictures and stuff, and it looked as though people broke down into, groups to discuss things. And of course, the formation of anything takes time. But on the other hand, many folks know each other from over a year and a half now of multiple demonstrations around so many multiple cases. So I'm hoping that means we sort of have a jump start. But could you talk a little bit about what the view was of people who were at the meeting about what Black Lives Matter Atlanta chapter will actually be able to do, will do?
What we are forming of different groups under the Black Lives Matter chapter. We have political and education group, and I'm going to talk about that. We have strategies, youth power, black power, healing, street team, direction, action. We have the Black Lives Matter Atlanta Mothers and Family group that they could continue to work together and, build a relation. And what we're going to do is try to get a bill passed for this family. That's what they want. They want a justice bill that this won't happen to the next family and the next mother or father. So that's what we're going to work with the family and see what the family want the Black Lives Matter to play a part in their life and what they want. The first one, political education, what we want to do is go to the community and talk to the community about what the condition going into the black community, what's affect them, and to educate our black people and tell them that, voting, register voting, get out there voting, but make sure you vote for the right person, regardless if you're Republican or Democrat. But what we want to do is educate our people, and we want to put our people in there who are going to fight for us. Another thing we have strategy, making plans, demands, going out there and saying, this is what the community want and this is what we demand. And we're going to go to our political leader and say, this is our demand, this is what the community want, and we want these demands to be done. Another, youth power. We're bringing the youth under the BL, and we're going to the schools. We talking to the youth, and we want to know what's affecting our youth. What do they want? Um, the youth is the main uplift what's going on across the nation now. You see Ferguson, you see Chicago, what happened to Laquan McDonald, shot 16 times.
Incredible. Just incredible.
And our political leaders, the mayor, the state prosecutor, city council, aldermen, under the cover up. And these youth see this and they are upset. They want somebody to listen to them. And we have to stand and get behind the youth and see what they want. They went to the community that does not listen to them. So they said, what we're going to do is go to the economic community, the malls. We're going to go to the financial district and tell them that we are tired. We are a voice in our community and we want you guys to hear us. If you do not hear us, we're going to continue shutting down these districts until we are heard, until our demands are met. That's one thing with the youth power that we're going to be working with our youth. Also, Black Lives Matter with Black Power outreach group. What we're going to be doing is knocking at the doors. We want to knock at everybody's door into the black community, educating our people. Let them know what's going on in the community. Just talking to our people. Just hear the voice. Because we're all black people, there's no family. We are built on family and love, so we want to reach out to the black families and see how can we come together and unite with each other. What we're going to do is going to healing. We have a healing group. Reaching out to the people in the community, talking to them about mental illness, talking to like a mother who lost a loved one, someone who they go to and cry to, and be able to hear, so we can be able to hear them and cry with them. And that's one part with the healing.
Can I just interrupt right there? I think one of the things, there's a lot of things written about PTSD.
Yes.
And people understand it from the standpoint of a battlefront, the horror of war, what people see. And I truly think that one of the issues that doesn't come up very well, but I do see more writing about it, is that the trauma of slavery, the trauma of Jim Crow, the trauma of imprisonment, the trauma of constant police harassment, the trauma of no health care, the trauma of no job, all of these things combine to really, they have such a big impact on people's lives and personalities. So this idea of healing, I certainly think one of the things about healing is a recognition of your humanity and that you are united with other people. And a big thing to me about healing is doing something to change the problem. So I was just going to ask you a little bit about how is it that this meeting perceived healing?
Healing, like what you was talking about, the PTSD, which I have PTSD. I go to seek counseling. I haven't told anyone about it, but I am disabled. And I don't have nobody to reach out to in Georgia but my counselor and friends and family and people who are part of the BLM. So what we want to do is bring that that PTSD to the community, let this know this is going on in our community, and we need to help people. Because Georgia doesn't have Medicaid for people. I don't have Medicaid. I can't even get the correct medicine. I can't afford my medicine. So who can I go to? So what we want to do is make sure we talk to our legislator and say we have to get these bills passed because it's really hurting us. And people with PTSD, like our veteran, like Anthony Hill, went to the veteran, but they couldn't see what kind of medication he belonged. And that's one thing we want people to become able to come to us and to bring that healing there. And whatever, diabetes going on in the black community, cancer, breast cancer, prostate. So we want people to come to us so we could bring to our legislators, say this is what our community want, and this is what our healing is about. That's one thing we want to work on.
I had a question for you too. I got like 16 questions for you, but let me think of the one I really want to ask. You say you want to, you got a political and an education, right?
Yes.
And you say you're seeking out legislation. Have you already spoken to any legislators or political leaders who are in favor of authoring the bills or anything?
One bill we just work on, pre-arrest diversion bill. Different
The PAD, yeah.
organization came together. I can name some, SNAPCO, Women on the Rise,
Yeah.
Song. What they did is came together as a, organizer and went to the City Council of Atlanta, and they've been fighting for this bill for like 2 years.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
So it's like, what we did, went to them and said this was affecting our community, criminalization of black young men, black women, black LGBT, and they want a bill to be passed. And what happened, we all came together, and the community came together, and we worked hard and kept going to them and to push this bill to pass, and it passed 13-0.
I know, we reported on it last week as well. And that is gonna make such a big difference because it's all these, life crimes. I mean, people, they pick up people for standing on a corner, for sleeping on a bench, just all kinds of things.
Right.
And they end up in jail.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize the reason they're doing that is because of the contracts that the government has made with these private companies that guarantees 90% occupancy rates, or they will have to pay some kind of fines to the company. That's a guarantee in writing that the government has guaranteed these private companies 90% occupancy rate. And I don't want to go there because, mass incarceration and prison reform is like one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
But anyway, you continue.
And one and I appreciate you guys talk about the homeless in Atlanta. BLM ATL wants to work with the homeless, go to the homeless and talk to the homeless community and ask them what can we do to help to stop this homeless. I just drove past Pan Street, and every day I drive past, it's like you're seeing 50 black people sleeping on the street with their kids now, and it's like corporate people ride past and not saying nothing, doing anything. The mayor, he wants to build a police station, a fire department, and just push the homeless shelter out of nowhere. And where will the homeless people go to? They are locking up the homeless people for being homeless. And we need to stick together and stop that.
Absolutely.
And that's what BLM wants to do. We want to stop this madness. We want our people, homeless people, we want everybody to come united together and fight. We got to fight for real. And that's why I want to play a part with BLM, to go out there into the community and talk to the community. Because the white media, they want to picture Black Lives Matter as radical militia. We are not militia. We taxpaying people. We are in the community, and we want the media, the white supreme media, to stop doing that. And go and see what people are doing in the community. Like the pre-arrest diversion bill. You don't see that on the news that passed. So what we're going through is educating our people and tell them this bill passed, and we gotta make sure it worked for the people.
So you had still a few more to go on these committees that got set up and what
Yes,
you're
I think I
aiming to
got
do?
2 more. We had street team. Street team played with the safety, security, cop watch. Cop watch is going to the community, police come into the community, and they pull somebody over and throw the person on the ground. Cop watch would be out there watching, filming, and the police do not like anyone to film them. But, you know, they can't stop you. I mean, you know, you have the Fourth Amendment, First Amendment. So what we're going to do is put the cop watch in the community to watch the police. Security, when we do like direct action in the street, we're going to our mayor, the city hall. We're going to a town hall meeting with the city council, and we're going to let them know we are there. We're going to sports events, convention. So we're going to have security in place. And also, when we have meeting, because we receive threats already from the supremacy that they do not want us in Atlanta. They already threatened us big time. So we want to keep our people safe, our community safe. So that's another thing. We're working with different groups in the community so they can patrol the community and make sure that our community are safe and make sure the police does not come in our community and violate people's rights and shoot people down, shooting kids down now. So we're going to have security, safety. Safety plays a part. Everything. When you walk down the street, you want to make sure you're safe. So we want to bring our people who come into the meetings, make sure it's a safe environment. Even going to an elderly home, make sure that person is safe. Checking on our elderly and make sure they live in safe accommodations and safe safety environment. I just went over some with the direct action with, you know, going to the city halls. We're going to make our political leaders uncomfortable because that's what they are here to serve the people. And they're supposed to listen to the people. So we're going to go reach out to our political leaders and say, you are going to be uncomfortable until you listen to our people, the community, and see what the people want. We're going to make sure that if they do not listen to our community, you will be voted out. I know some of the DAs, the police chief, don't even want to show surveillance cameras to the family. Atlanta is the only place that does not do that in the country, show surveillance. If a family wants to know what happened to their child or their loved one, they should be able to know what happened to their child. So what we're going to do is go to the police chief and some of the DA's office and let them know that you're going to be uncomfortable too. We're going to go to city council and say if you did not pass these bills, we will replace you with somebody that we know who's fighting for the people, who listen to the people. We're going to go to sports events where the large crowds come and let them know Black Lives Matter Atlanta is here in Atlanta and we're here to stay. Let them know that we need them to come on board because they are part of the community also. People who go to sports events. People who bring in money into Atlanta, some of the big conventions, they need to know that we are here and we're here to tell them that you're bringing the money, but where the money's going. We want our community built up, not tied down, and force the black people out their own community. Like with Rages, Fight for 15, out every day talking to the young people, poor people, working class people, and people, mothers who living off of $7.95, $8, working at McDonald's, working with 2 jobs, can't afford to pay for Medicare for their child or child care. So Fight for 15 been out there talking to the community, going to some of these minimum wage jobs and getting them on board and letting them know that we got to continue to fight, to unite together, and we're going to make sure 15 is passed in Atlanta and throughout Georgia and throughout the country also.
Yeah, one of the things I think people may not know is that this grand jury procedure, Georgia is the only state where a police officer who is charged or who is brought before a grand jury to explain how they killed somebody, that police officer is allowed to sit through the entire grand jury proceedings, which in other words means
Witness
they get to see
intimidation.
every witness that comes before them. Those people are all supposed to be given, they're like supposed to be secret, but there's the cop who is charged with this crime, and he gets to see who everybody is and hear what everybody said, and then, unbelievably, gets to make the last statement, which cannot be challenged.
That's right.
So in other words, he can lie through his teeth, cry a bunch of crocodile tears, and that's the last thing that the grand jurors see. So that I do know that there is there's going to be legislation about that, and that's very clearly something that Georgia needs to get rid of, this special privilege to police. So, Dre, we only have a few minutes left, so let me see if Ayanna has another question, because you said she had 16.
I did. But I know we don't have enough time for my questions, but I will say this. I had spoken to Diane, I think about a month ago, about Black Lives Matters and why I wasn't really taking a lot of force here in Atlanta. It bothers me a lot. And I think the reason is a lot of the things that happen here in Atlanta aren't as hugely televised or weren't as hugely brought, focused as, say, Trayvon and the other things that went on. So I think that it's a really good thing, and I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to at least find out how they can make contact with y'all.
He's got a paper.
Yes, and one thing I want to say, Dan, I appreciate you bringing up the grand jury because that's our problem. I want to talk about what just happened recently, Baby Boo Boo.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just hurts me that this baby will suffer the rest of his life. And the mom who sit there and they said, you're not receiving justice because of this grand jury. We got to know who are these grand jury. And sometimes the family can't even go in there.
No, the family can't.
The family can't even go in there. And it's like, what is the DAs, the prosecutors, doing? Because it seems like the justice is not coming. And what we want to do is change these laws about the grand jury. They don't even need to decide if the police, because they all in cahoot with each other. They family members, they know each other, and it's like, this got to stop.
You got to remember those are elected positions too.
So we will be working on that to get them out also.
So tell us how our listeners who are interested, and I know, it was so incredible to watch the just huge numbers of people from so many different backgrounds and so many different ages and so many different communities who came out and marched together, took the streets, took the interstates,
Yes.
during that. So please do let our listeners know how they can reach out to Black Lives Matter Atlanta.
Okay, we have text alert. That's like when we doing action in the street. What we're going to do is start letting our people know that where, when. So we're going to send out like texts alert to people. And what you can do is text at Black Lives Matter ATL to 23559 for updates. So it's at Black Lives Matter ATL to 23559 for updates. Also, if you just want to reach out to Black Lives Matter Atlanta, you can contact us at 678-718-5091. What that will do is like alert people. It will alert us that you have a message, and what we'll do is to contact the person back. We have emails, blacklivesmatteratlanta@yahoo.com. Once again, our email is blacklivesmatteratlanta@yahoo.com.
And that's spelled all the way out.
Yes. And we also have Instagram, Black Lives Matter ATL. The Instagram is Black Lives Matter ATL. Twitter is at BLM Atlanta, spell out. But it's at BLM Atlanta. Our Facebook, our popular social media that everybody loves to go to and post everything on is Black Lives Matter Atlanta. And once again, Black Lives Matter Atlanta is spelled out.
Thank you so much, Dre. I really appreciate you coming in. I know Ayanna, Christopher, and Ozzy all do as well. I hope all of you who are listening got a good perspective on this Black Lives Matter chapter that's going to be here in Atlanta. And we will see you again next Monday, last show of 2015. I don't know who's going to be on, but I'm sure it'll be great. So tune in then. Thanks a lot. Bye, Ayanna. Bye, Dre.
Bye.